Hi, everybody. I'm here. I'm here. Amber Waves of Grain says, "Where is our rabbit?" I am here. I am not running on Mexico time. Don't No, I'm not. Shout out to everybody in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to everybody. I was like the first here 3 hours ago. I know, y'all. I'm actually tired. I'm feeling it. I'm on coffee part 3. So I said, sure, let's do a number 3 live. Why not? Because I love y'all and I want to make sure that I'm catching up and everything. 3. This is the third one. So do me a favor, y'all. If you guys can help me by hitting the like button, that would be amazing. I appreciate. I'm also like monitoring how often people get notifications and stuff like that. So that's good. That's going on. But welcome everybody. Be sure all of your messages, you're on all messages and not top messages. Good point. Good point. Welcome everybody. Let me say hello. Mara Mello, welcome. Julia, how are you? Pause for Andrea. As some of you guys were here, like right when I scheduled this, which was literally hours ago. Like some of these comments are from hours ago. Jeanette, Mirror Girl, YouTube not notifying. Cheeks, how are you? F this admin, welcome, love. AKA Tinkle Tits. Amanda in Alaska, welcome. Who else? Constance June is here. Kitty Coo. Don, Jeanette, Mirror Girl. Mirror Girl, did you have a different name? I feel like you had a different name before Mirror Girl. I hit the like. Did you? That's a great question. Cheeks is in the house. Thank you, thank you, Maria. Thank you for being here. Lovey Cats, Dee Dee. I said hello. Who else? Who else? I am here. Susie Q, how are you? I was the very first like 3 hours ago. Well, I'm glad. Tu mama, thank you, thank you. Karma is a B, and I am Karma. How are you? Kelly Rose, how you doing? Hi, Robin Hood. You said, hey, Nikki, Robin Hood. Hi, Robin Hood family. I am wonderful mods. Shout out to you. Nikki, thank you for being here. Oh, Lord have mercy. My thing is going off. Now, hold up. Let me make sure that I put this on pause over here. Last Ronan, thank you for arriving. Andra, Cece, Christine, welcome. Linzer, welcome. Katie, how are you? Pinche Becky's in the house. Age, Susan, you get 3 notifications a day per channel. Wow. Do you? Some people don't. The duck is in here. Kelly Rose, beautiful messy ball. Alyssa, Justin T. Please is in the house. Sylvia, I received 4 messages. Damn. Notifications, I'm assuming. Who else? Lori, Alyssa, Gemini, Jin, welcome. Shout out to you, DC. Last Ronin, Sylvia's in the house. All right, hold up. I'm just going through the list. Tracy, welcome. Shout out to you. Rosa from Jersey, welcome, love. Gemini, how are you, love? I got my notifications. Hit the like button, please, and thank you. Chico, VD Kitten, thank you, everybody. You got it on Discord. Ugh. Ada, how are you? Haven't seen you in a minute. Hope you're doing well. Rico, how you been? Shout out to you, Rico. Oh man. All right. Well, this has been an interesting day as far as development of cases and whatnot. So why don't we start? Why don't we talk about Shanquella Robinson? Okay. Let's start there because Shanquella Robinson is a case that really kind of upsets me still till this day. Part of it is because there's so much injustice that happened with that case, and I know a lot of us here on YouTube, covered it severely, like heavily, and just really went into the weeds of everything that was happening. For those that don't know the Shanquella Robinson case, Shanquella Robinson was an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, okay, who basically went on vacation with some friends to Cabo, 6 friends, and was murdered while in Mexico, okay? And that caused a lot of controversy. A lot happened from there because what the effed up friends did, right? They basically beat her to death and flew over to where her parents were at, faced the parents, lied to the parents. They did an autopsy in Mexico. That autopsy was just like, what the hell? Then they did another one here in the US. And so what we found out was that she basically was killed, brutally beaten. All right. Now they have said, yeah, oh yeah, and let's not forget she also paid for the trip for these freeloader friends of hers. You know, she was a young girl, right? And you think about it, in your 20s, if you like to travel, you're thinking you can trust people. That's how you found me. Look at some of y'all found me that way. You think you can trust people and these people have your best interests. You know, you're drinking and I'm just going to say, like, sometimes you just have to teach your young kids, okay, that, you know, not everybody has your back the way in which you would think. Back in the day when I was in my 20s, I mean, if somebody was drinking, one person wasn't, one would be sacrificed. Like, all right, you're not drinking, you're driving, I got your back, making sure nobody's, you know, having any roofies in their drink and stuff like that. She pays for this trip. Beautiful, gorgeous woman, okay? Very loved by her community, by her family. I felt so bad, like, well, when I would see her father get really upset over this, it just broke my heart seeing all this, right? And then seeing the injustice, because we were a lot of us were advocating for something to happen on her case and nothing would happen. They went forward, so the FBI was investigating it. It's taken months, nobody was charged with anything. These friends, one of them changed her name. um Dejanay, it was a Dejanay Jackson, I think. It's coming to me, y'all, it's been a minute. She changed her name. She tried to, like, because people were calling her job. I mean, it was just a lot of people were protesting her and they were trying to fly under the radar. You had the news reporters following them. They just really thought that they were going to get away with this. And unfortunately, it's a situation that truly the justice system failed, both in Mexico and here. Like, it seemed like we couldn't get it anyway. This video goes viral of her being beaten to death. We all see it. And it was just horrible. Like, I still remember Shanquella was naked and, like, she had like a little towel thing. It just, it's crazy to me that no justice was brought to Shanquella. It was crazy. It's too much. Anyway, so hey B Tim, how are you, love? Let's see. The Mexican authorities seem to try to, yeah, they were trying to hurry up. And don't forget, there was a lot of controversy because you also had Gerardo Zúñiga, the Mexican reporter who I also interviewed on my channel. A lot of people felt some type of way about him. He's still around. He still has a channel. I think he, in my opinion, maybe tried to build off of her, that injustice, and a lot of people were not having it. And it's like, well, you know, he kind of went on his own. I don't know if he's still covering any Shanquella updates, but maybe he is. I'm not really sure. I felt like he could have, and I told him this. I remember talking to him and telling him that there was a better way for him to have approached this, because it was giving somebody, what is it? It was given this salacious personality that was trying to profit off of this woman's death. And if that's the case, then your approach is going to be off and you're going to rub people the wrong way. It was just really hard. Carly, how are you? I haven't seen you in a minute. You said it's hard for me to understand how friends could stand by and watch it unfold. Yeah, and then the friends covered for each other. And then one of them was snitching on social media. Well, not snitching, telling, really. Like, he was basically telling other people what was going on. And then at some point, I don't even know if they still talk, what the issue is. Everybody was more concerned about themselves. They really weren't friends. The reality is that none of these people were her friends. They didn't give a shit about her. Not real friends, you know? Like I said, a real friend would have your back if you're drinking. They would be there. That's what they would do. You haven't, Stasia. It's I want to say, what, 2 years now? Almost, no, yep. So she died in 2022. Okay. She was just 25 years old and she died in Cabo San Lucas. All right. So it was very hard for me to talk. Like, I kept talking about this case and we wanted to bring awareness, but then, like, this, like, blogger hate started where, and this is what typically happens with bloggers, is that bloggers tend to get a little bit like, you can't talk about this, and it gets a little like this. And I'm like, well, that just takes attention. So I said, you know, if there's something important to talk about, we're going to bring attention to it. But I just didn't want to go back and forth with folks. They taunted. Oh yeah, and don't forget that. Thank you. They did. They were making like they wanted her to get up and fight when she was beaten, like she couldn't move. She literally, I don't even want to think about it. It was horrible. But welcome everybody. Let's get started. Let's get started right now. Her murder happened right before the Idaho 4 case. Yes, it did. It did. You said hey Adrian, how are you? If I can't remember, they were there because she was paying for them. Yeah, she paid for all of these bums. Like she paid for all of them. All of them. Dejanay Jackson was the one that was beating her. But in reality, in my opinion, I think that they are all responsible for her death in one way, for not reporting it, for lying to the parents, for not being honest, for lying to the authorities. Like they're all responsible for Shanquella Robinson's death one way or another, right? If you can look at a mother's eyes or a father's eyes and completely lie to me, you're no different than the person that did the blows on the person, if you know what I mean. So yeah, they're all responsible. They all basically played a part in her murder. And I don't know, like I hope they never sleep well and that they understand that forever. That's how I feel. Okay. Hey, Mexican long hair, how are you? Hey, Saidela, everybody's coming through. Hopefully those notifications are going on. Hey, Miss Cheryl, how are you, love? Okay, let's get it together. Let's get it together. So we have some new updates on this, and I'm really I haven't read this whole thing, but I've been hearing rumblings. So Shanquella Robinson's friends say she hit her head on the toilet before mysterious death. This is what an FBI report shows. So apparently there have been like these FBI reports that have been released um after the FBI has been hush hush about this. So the FBI released more of its findings last week on a complicated case involving a Charlotte woman who died while on a trip to Mexico back in 2022. The woman, Shanquella Robinson, and several others vacationed in Cabo San Lucas, and her death has been a mystery ever since. So this is the FBI findings. The FBI released a second part of its initial finding Friday, February 28th. I didn't even know they had released anything, so I'm very late on this. The report detailed what happened and why it was a heavily redacted form. The agency reports began by reconfirming that Shanquella and her friends went to Mexico to celebrate one of their birthdays. It added that they stayed at an Airbnb. Huh. New information in the report revealed that Shanquella's friend said that she was drinking and hit her head on the toilet. The report continues stating someone in the group thought there were two cameras in the house and tried to obtain the footage. At that point, the report stated someone contacted local law enforcement in Mexico. Reports continued stating that someone saw a picture of Shanquella's body that showed bruises on her, with one person describing what it looked like as if she was stomped on. Initial death reports. Initially, Shanquella's parents were told by others on the trip that she had gotten sick with alcohol poisoning. So the friends flew back and, ooh, mic check. Is my mic going in and out? Let me know, cheeks. Thank you for the $5 though. If you saw her being beaten, you could never forget that case. No, and it was a very viral video. It went so viral. Oh, this okay. Y'all hear me? All right, all right. Thank you guys. Super chat works. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I know you said mic check, mic check. Gotcha. Super chat check. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for the $5 though. Um, let me tell you what happened. I'm glad you're saying this, Chris, because let me say this. So what happened was the video went viral. It was a horrible video, and I know when I saw it, it was uncensored. Then it was played again. Hey, beautiful messy ball, I see you. Then it was played again, and this time it was censored with like a little blurs. Well, what YouTube did is that they didn't like folks playing that video. Excuse me. They didn't like folks playing that video. So they started going through people's channels and basically reviewing for community guidelines and stuff like that. So a lot of us had to put that video on private, myself included, because they were going through things. So that just to let you know that it was a viral, very graphic video, but YouTube went around and did like a removal of it. They didn't want people to see it. That video was a hard watch because you had somebody was recording, somebody, the person that was beating her, then you had people on the other side, they were just watching it. Come on, Quella, come on, Quella. It's literally not a fair fight. It just wasn't. You could tell that she couldn't get up. They just essentially, yeah, I would say the same. It was essentially watching the murder of a woman happen right in front of our eyes. And what the most disgusting thing was is that they went back home and they saw the parents, and they basically lied to the parents and said that she had been sick. She got sick with alcohol poisoning and basically died. They left Shanquella's body over there while they hurried up and got their asses to a plane, did the cover up story, and said what they said to the parents, and then basically went about their lives. I cannot stand these people. I couldn't when I heard about that. Yeah, we literally did. We saw the last movements. It's just a horrific. I can't watch it again because it's too much. It's too much to watch. Okay, so anyways, the article reads, initially, Shanquella's parents were told by others on a trip that she had gotten sick with alcohol poisoning. After Robinson died, Mexican authorities told the families that the alcohol poisoning was determined as the cause of death. Despite the alleged reports, her death certificate from Mexico suggests a different story. So that's what happened. There was the autopsy report that was inconsistent with the death certificate, so there was a discrepancy there. So, the death certificate said that she died due to a severe spinal cord injury. All right. An autopsy of Shanquella Robinson conducted in Charlotte on November 17, 2022 found Robinson's spine intact, contradicting past claims of Mexican authorities who had initially said that Robinson's spine was broken. The medical examiner said that based on the autopsy results, Robinson's cause of death is undetermined, but that the most significant findings were a hematoma on the forehead, a pool of blood that forms in an organ tissue or body space, mild cerebral edema, so a concussion, and I can't even say this word, but I'm going to call it a brain injury, okay, because it does say brain injury. And there was inadequate blood flow and oxygenation of the brain. The report stated that the hematoma of the forehead was consistent with blunt force trauma. No charges, however. Soon after Shanquella's death, and mind you, there's a viral video of her getting beat to death, and there was still no charges. Okay. There was a viral video of her getting beaten and her not fighting back, and there was still no charges. Let that sink in, okay? Just let that sink in, right? You have your evidence right there. You have people egging it on, someone filming it, and then the girl beating the shit out of, basically murdering Shanquella right in front of us, and there was no charges. Now, from the Mexican authorities, Mexican authorities went, well, it's the U.S. Then the U.S. went, well, it's the Mexican. They went back and forth. No charges in the Mexican authorities, no charges in the U.S. Literally nothing. Nothing. That's, yeah. All right. So just let that sink in. No charges, however. Soon after Shanquella's death, a video surfaced online showing what is believed to be Shanquella and one of her friends fighting inside their hotel room. And the video can be watched below, which we're not going to watch because, like I said, YouTube is just making sure that people are not playing this content, and, you'll get flagged and removed. Still till this day, no charges have been filed. Nothing. They were asked, there was, White House meetings, and people were protesting outside. Nothing has happened. Okay. Now I'm kind of curious. Here it is. Here are the FBI reports. I think this is what it is. Yep. Look at this, y'all. The Duck, thank you so much for this super sticker. I appreciate you. Thank you, my love. Thank you for supporting my channel. Kraken, how are you, love? Thank you again, the Duck. I appreciate it. Let's see. Even the nurses and doctors were sketchy with their reporting. All of us. Okay. I think we were all sketchy. So this is, how many pages do we have here? I can't even look. What is this? So there's some private information. I'm trying to be careful. This is Shanquella's picture. So this is the actual FBI report. I mean, at least we have a link to it, guys. And it says accidents note on this document shall be considered determinative or fault or negligent on part of the individuals. Okay, hold up. So it's a Bureau investigation. All right, so here's the report. This is interesting. The initial reporting suggests the following individuals traveled to Mexico with the victim, Shanquella Robinson. Social media accounts associated to the individuals were preserved and are below. In a few instances, social media accounts that shared the account name with the individuals but were not confirmed to be the individuals were preserved out of the abundance of caution. Okay, so there's a lot of redactions here. Let's see. Can we get to the narrative? On November 21st, 2022, date of birth, phone number, address, redacted email accounts came to the FBI Charlotte field office located on 7915 Microsoft Way, Charlotte, North Carolina, to provide information regarding the alleged murder of Shanquella Robinson. Okay, in Mexico in late October 2022. So somebody came to the FBI's office. Interesting. Present during the interview were Special Agent SA, redacted, FBI Operations Specialist, redacted, FBI victim. Why are the FBI agents' names redacted? I don't understand. So, okay, somebody came to see the FBI on November 21st to report about Shanquella's murder in late October. Okay. Let's see. What else? Do we have anything of substance here? So, I have been asked by Special Agent Federal Bureau of Investigations to permit the complete warrant. This is a consent to search. It's a piece of paper. Okay. And you can't really read a lot. iPhone black belonged to Shanquella Robinson. So was this when they were checking her phones? Okay. So here is a report from an agent. How many pages do we have here? 44. We're on number 17. And it says November 16, 2022, Special Agent AAT Alat Tijuana, Mexico, authored a letterhead memorandum oficio required by the Procuraduría, I can't even say that word, the prosecutor's office, General de Justicia de los Estados Unidos, Estado Baja California, in order to obtain any local government records. Okay, so I'm just seeing if we can find anything of substance here, y'all. So November 18, 2022, met with blank person in Baja California Sur, state prosecutor, to inquire, among other items, when the FBI would be able to receive the required documents. Alvarez advised, look, they didn't redact a name. Alvarez advised that once the oficio was reviewed by AG Daniel de la Rosa, he would authorize the release of any documents. SA advised that he had not received any response from AG Daniel de la Rosa. Okay. Is there anything of substance here? Alrighty. So they were checking phones. That's all it says here. Last week of October 2022, Shanquella and a group of friends, including blank, 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 dates of birth, went to Cabo, Mexico to celebrate one of their birthdays. They stayed in an Airbnb. I guess, is it considered an Airbnb? Because I thought they were, well, I mean, I don't know. October 29, 2022, there was an altercation and Shanquella died. It's not sure exactly what happened. Shanquella's cause of death is listed as a broken neck and a collarbone. Shanquella's friend says she was drinking and hit her head on the toilet. This is where they're bringing up that toilet thing, okay? That's where it's coming from. that she hit her head on the toilet. So, yeah, so it sounds like that the Mexican authorities cooperated with the FBI, right? Which I'm glad they did, right? Like that's the whole point. I hope that they did. But that's the thing. They're even redacting the federal agents' names. Why are they doing all that? That's too much. And why is the redaction white? Well, I don't know. I always thought redactions were supposed to be like black. But yeah, that's a good point too. Like, why are they white? Blank contacted the local law enforcement in Mexico. So did they lie to the FBI about how she died? Did she actually hit her head in the toilet? But then they said that they did found like a hematoma. Is that hematoma on her head? So keep that in mind. So it's believed that they had 2 cameras in the house. And they were attempting to get footage. Blank saw pictures of Shanquella's body and said that there were bruises on her and she looked like she had been stomped on. Okay, all of this is redacted. So somebody went to the FBI and gave more information, but who the person was, we don't know. Now look at this. We have this document and it's unredacted. The one that we have, at least, this was blasted too. All of their names. So Shanquella's name is in there, and it's the Cabo Villas. Shanquella's name, and then it was the other friends that signed this document. Okay. Oh man. Look at all this redaction. What are we supposed to make with this? None of this is making sense other than they're saying, well, we have their phone numbers and that's it. What is this? It's 45 pages of redactions, y'all. If they're not going to charge anybody, why not just release the information? See, like right here, this is of no importance. Why do I need to know who and what downloaded what document? Like, we can't even put in the names because it's all redacted. It says right here, SA navigated to the phone's display setting and confirmed that the phone lock screen was already set to never sleep. SA connected the phone to a examination computer using blank cable. A full screen and extraction was obtained using blank. The phone was disconnected. It's a Samsung. Okay. Consent to search. That's it. 45 pages of absolutely nothing. All we know is that the friend said, no, I'm not. I mean, are y'all still waiting on the Epstein files? Let me the fuck know where we're at with those. Should we hold on? Listen, somebody went in my comments and said, Rabbit, they're trying to hurry up with those Epstein files. Okay. They're trying to, it's looking like a Mad Libs, fill in the blank type of situation. We already did this. We're not doing that again. But literally, like, sounds like the feds to me, they redacted everything. If they're not going to move forward with charging anybody, then just release the information. It's already online. I mean, at least know. So what friend said that she hit her head on the toilet? That would be a first to me. I've never heard that one before. No one will ever see the real files. Don't hold your breath. Too many powerful people. You guys, I already told you. I put in the little thing that said where files. Where? Y'all let me know. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. Is it still an ongoing investigations? That's the question that I have, because when they said they weren't moving forward with charges, I thought that was done. I didn't think they had any more questions. I never seen law enforcement redact until recently. It's disgusting. It's a cover up. That's what it seems like to me. That's what it seems like to me. You had Andrew Tate, speaking of which, let's talk about redactions. Andrew Tate sitting with Candace Owens on, there's a clip all over. It's like it went viral last night, where he's talking about how he's constantly having to wipe down his computer and electronics. So he's like hiding evidence. The idiot admitted that online. You believe that they planned it from the very beginning? You know what, Night Charm? I think you're right. We don't have an FBI anymore, Paige. The FBI, they don't work for us. Don't be fooled when they say our taxpayer money. No, what are you talking about? They don't work for us. They don't. Justice for who and for what? It's not for you and me, not for us regular folks. That's not for us. That's their FBI. That's them. I'm just just like was it Last Ronin? They're not going to release those files because that implicates a lot of people. You had Linda McMahon selected. I even made issue about this. I said, you guys have Linda McMahon selected as the education secretary. The lady went to school, to college, to become a French teacher, and she didn't even fucking complete her degree. She has a civil lawsuit of 5 like victims from the WWE that they did not protect when they were children that had been violated under her watch. Vince McMahon and Linda McMahon, and now she is the secretary of education. I lost my shit. I said, that is such a slap in the face for a lot of us who went to school, stayed up late at night trying to study, trying to make a better life for us because we couldn't get that job that made those requirements for us to get that education. But all you have to do is be friends with this motherfucker in order for you to have that job. Tell me I'm lying when I say that. I'm not joking. The lady doesn't have a resume. So this is, I don't know. I'm not surprised at all. And she is the United States Secretary of Education on a system that they're trying to dismantle. I'm not saying that the education system isn't like fucked up, because it is. There is this thing about how it's set up to be a pipeline for a lot of folks to end up in jail. They need to do better. That's just it. It needs to be better, just like immigration, just like all these other issues. But the lady does not have an education experience to be in that position. Okay, let me tell you. She sits on a couple boards, but she doesn't have the education. McMahon grew up in New Bern, North Carolina. She attended East Carolina University and studied to become a French teacher, but never taught. She's never taught, and she's the secretary of education. How's that happen? That's what I want to know. She never taught. She co-founded and led the WWE with her husband, who, by the way, there's 5 civil lawsuits of the fact that they never reported any child abuse, sex abuse, and negligence. There was a lot of negligence on their behalf because they had ring boys under the age of 18, minors, that were violated by a person that was there too. Okay, they never did anything, and she still got selected in that position. That's it. That's it. It pays to be friends with the president. All right. That's what I got to say about that. Okay. So having friends in high places, and for those that are holding your breath, keep holding your breath and let me know when those Epstein files come out without any redactions. For me, it's bullshit. So whether it's Biden, because somebody came in my chat and said, well, this happened all under the Biden administration. Shanquella Robinson didn't get any justice. Okay. Y'all understand that it doesn't matter what administration is in there. They don't give a shit about us. They don't work for us. That's what it is. Doesn't matter. They don't. They suck. Period. That's it. Moving forward. I know they're friends. The Dark Ages, take 2. Oh my goodness. It happened exactly. That's my point. It doesn't matter what administration happens in all administrations. It does. That's it. All admins. I'm never gonna say this administration did it better than the other one. No, they all suck. They didn't. No. So when we start understanding that this FBI, these other agencies, they don't work for us. We may give money because, hey, first of all, we're trying to pay taxes. Nobody wants to go to jail. We get that, but they don't work for us, y'all. So when people say, well, these Epstein files, they're sitting over here in the and this Justice Department lady has them and the other person has them, I'm not holding my breath. Nobody's talking about them anymore. They were talking about them last week. Suddenly, something new is happening. The congressional meeting and all this other stuff, and people are going crazy, yada yada yada. And I'm like, nobody's talking about these Epstein files. Did everybody forget? And let me ask you a question. Even if they did release them, we already know what's in them. You guys do realize that, right? It's the same people that are in power that were listed and named in these documents. Surprise! Ta-da! All right. Moving on. Moving on. That being said, though, the Shanquella Robinson case, it's one that really upsets me because there was a huge failure. I know. Welcome to the Doom Chat, y'all. Let me lighten up a little bit, all right? I'm just saying. Good night arrived. I know some people are like, I'm out of here, yo. Listen, I have been demonetized at this point. Make sure you hit the like button, please, and thank you. But it's just, I'm a realist about these things. I don't hold my breath on these people. I can't. Yeah, it's the divert the attention, look over here. I just can't, man. And I hold, Sylvia's like, yay. I hold everybody accountable. When you are in a position of leadership, the buck stops somewhere. All right. And we have to understand that these people don't give a shit about us. And all over, we have to learn how to advocate for ourselves. Okay. And yeah, kind of how I feel. Let's say worked up over Epstein files. Go research the United States applying the. Oh, shoot. Look at that. There you go. The remonetized funds. Thank you for the $9.99, my love. Shout out to y'all. Y'all are amazing. But literally, Kraken, I see what you're saying. I think a lot of us are just kind of fed up. We're tired. I'm tired. Same shit, different day. That's what it is. I cannot. We're all in trouble one way or another. People don't advocate. They just complain. That is very true. We got to do better. But Tinkle Tits, thank you for the $9.99. I appreciate it. Y'all are still here. Okay. Thank you. Let's get into it. So here's another interesting case that I did not expect for us to hear updates on. Let's talk about this Kansas City Chiefs case. Okay. Now, this is another case that we've been following for quite some time that it's just a bizarre case, right? 3 men die. They go and they're watching this football game and basically they die. They are found dead outside of their friend's house. A lot of us, we were trying to figure out, well, what the hell is this all about? How did this happen? How did the friends not hear about this? When did this happen? It's a lot. It's a lot of mystery to this. Now, hold up. Where did my link go? Because I had a couple links that were up here. So let me give you guys a timeline, all right? And this is based on court documents that we know so far. I don't have the court documents, and I was looking for them, but I didn't see that they had been posted publicly. So Platte County, Missouri prosecutor announced that there have been charges today. Why did it take them this long? I'm not really sure. So let's circle back. So we have January 7th, 2024. There was a group of friends that attended a not a college football game, a football game, and consumed alcohol, marijuana, and cocaine. On January 9th, 2024, the police discovered the bodies. They discovered these bodies outside the house, while the owner of the house was inside. Okay. For like 3 days. Okay. It's bizarre, but let's keep going. January 12th, the forensic examiners confirmed the death were due to fentanyl and cocaine toxicity. January 23rd, the lab analysis confirmed the presence of cocaine and fentanyl in seized drug samples. July 10th, DNA evidence matched Jordan Willis, who's the owner of the house, who was the friend, and then is identified as a major contributor. Jordan Willis is also like a scientist, all right? I think he was working for like HIV research or something to that effect, all right? So keep that in mind, all right? July 23rd, 2024, the lab test confirmed one baggie contained cocaine and another contained fentanyl. July 24th, 2024, investigators interviewed Carson, who admitted to selling cocaine by the gram to Johnson, Willis, and Harrington, and Mingrini before January 1st. So the 3 victims and another person. All right. So we're going to get right into the press conference that they did today, which I thought was interesting. I said, okay, well, I was not expecting this today at all, but it's an update and we definitely needed it. And this is the prosecutor. All right. Lord, we have ads. Sorry about that, y'all. Skip that.
I am Prosecuting Attorney Eric Zahn. With me is Kansas City Police Chief Stacey Graves, Deputy Chief Doug Niemeyer, Detective Philip Sipple, and Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Colin Van Osterd. We're here today to announce charges against 2 men for drug distribution and manslaughter in the deaths of Clayton McGeeney, David Harrington, and Ricky Johnson. These 3 men were found dead outside a Platte County home on January 9, 2024. Today, Jordan Willis and Ivory Carson have been charged with distribution of a controlled substance and 3 counts of involuntary manslaughter. This case has received considerable attention from the media, and I think some people seem to believe that charges may never be brought in this case. People may have doubted this investigation because it has spanned more than a year.
Well, it definitely spanned for a year. This is the loudest that it goes as far as the volume. Lindsay, just so you're aware. And Rico, thank you for renewing your membership, love. Shout out to you. Yeah, it was NFL Chiefs. My bad. That's who they were watching. This is a bizarre case. A lot of us have been waiting for like an update. That's what we thought too. We just couldn't determine who and what. But why did it take him so long to figure this out? Testing?
But understand this, the Kansas City Police Department and my office do not rest on homicide cases until we have exhausted every possible resource to bring anybody we believe responsible to justice. Today's charges are the product of hard work of Kansas City detectives and prosecutors over those many months. Let me summarize the probable cause statement in this case, and we will have copies of the charging documents, including the entire probable cause statement for you after our statements here. As I've mentioned, Clayton McGeeney, David Harrington, and Ricky Johnson were found dead outside defendant Jordan Willis's home in the 5200 block of Northwest 83rd Terrace in the Platte County portion of Kansas City on January 9.
Outside the home, and it was the fiance who found them. Because she would see you saw their cars parked outside. They were outside his house. So basically and it had been snowing in January. So keep that in mind.
Mr. McGeeney's fiance told police that Mr. McGeeney, Mr. Harrington, and Mr. Johnson had gone to Mr. Willis's home to watch the Kansas City Chiefs football game on January 7th. When she could not contact Mr. McGeeney, she went back to the home on January 9th and found at least one person dead on the back patio. Temperatures had dropped below freezing the night of the Chiefs game. Officers with the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department responded to that scene and found Mr. McGeeney, Mr. Harrington, and Mr. Johnson's bodies in the backyard of the home. Detectives then obtained consent to search the home. They found 2 plastic bags containing white powdery substances. The bags were tested by the Kansas City, Missouri Police Crime Laboratory. One of those bags contained cocaine, and the probable cause statement alleges that Mr. Willis was determined to be the major contributor of DNA found on that bag. The other bag contained fentanyl, and the probable cause statement alleges that Mr. Carson was determined to be the major contributor of DNA on that bag. The probable cause statement also recounts the statement of a witness who said he was at Mr. Harrington's home with Mr. Harrington, Mr. McGeeney, Mr. Johnson, and the defendant, Mr. Willis, the night of the football game, where he saw a large plate of cocaine allegedly supplied by Mr. Willis that everyone was using. The witness said Mr. McGeaney, Mr. Harrington, Mr. Johnson were going to Mr. Willis's home after the football game.
So I think Carson would be the drug dealer, right? And I think maybe because that was the first time I've ever heard the name. The drug dealer, Jordan Willis, is the guy who owns the house, who's the friend, right? Who invited them over. And so it took them forever. I guess they found DNA in even the bags and stuff like that. Now, it wasn't a Super Bowl. It wasn't the Super Bowl, but I think it was I think it was the playoffs, if I remember correctly, too. Pretty obvious to me it was spent. Yeah, that's what people said. And then also keep in mind the factors of them being outside. It's just bizarre because it was all three of them died. All three of them died. Let's see. They had to trace it back. I noticed when somebody dies, it takes our cops a few months before they can charge with murder. Well, and then immediately the lawyer for Jordan Willis came out here. Y'all remember? The guy that looked like he puts on way too much cologne with the snazzy suit, and he would say things that would like be incriminating too. You'd be like, are you sure you meant to say that this way? Sure you didn't mean to say it the other way? So we had a lot of questions about this whole case from the jump.
Another witness said he was with Mr. McGeaney, Mr. Harrington, Mr. Johnson, and Mr. Willis at Willis's home later that night on January 7th, where they drank, smoked marijuana, and used cocaine. That witness left shortly before midnight. Data recovered from Mr. Harrington's phone allegedly contains text messages between Mr. Harrington, Mr. McGeaney, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Willis, the defendant, Mr. Carson, and others consistent with the purchase and use of cocaine. The messages allegedly indicate that Mr. Carson supplied Mr. Harrington with cocaine. A doctor with Forensic Medical of Kansas found that Mr. McGeaney, Mr. Harrington, and Mr. Johnson all died of fentanyl and cocaine combined toxicity. Mr. Willis and Mr. Carson are both charged with a single count of delivery of a controlled substance and 3 counts of involuntary manslaughter for recklessly causing the deaths of Mr. McGeaney, Mr. Harrington, and Mr. Johnson. Each of those charges carries a maximum penalty of 10 years in prison. Mr. Carson is in a Platte County jail in lieu of a $100,000 cash bond. We have been told that Mr. Willis is going to surrender himself on the warrant issued for his arrest and that he will post a $100,000 cash bond. This case is a tragic reminder of the dangers of street drugs. But make no mistake, the people who supply those drugs can and will be held accountable when people overdose. I again want to thank the men and women of the Kansas City Police Department for their tireless work on this case, as well as Mr. Van Ostren standing here with me and First Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Mark Gibson. All of these folks were intimately involved in this investigation from day one. I should caution you that the charges against Mr. Willis and Mr. Carson are merely accusations, and they are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty. Let me turn things over now to Chief Graves for a few additional comments.
Sorry, I couldn't move my mouse. Destiny, thank you so much for the $4.99. Oh, you're talking about the Shanquella Robinson, the redactions. You said it's the safe print ink printer ink. Oh my God. You think that's why they're redacting everything? So is that why the redactions are on the Epstein files? Like, are those Tinkle, let me know. Are those like, I can't remember if they were white or black redactions. I'm pretty sure it was black redactions on the Epstein files, but that's an interesting point. You think that it's to save the ink. So if they have to redact, they just make it in white to save the document ink for the FBI. That's interesting. Thank you so much, love, for the $4.99. I appreciate you. Kraken says crack is whack, but fentanyl means don't go out back. Well, you wouldn't, like Kim was saying, like, and I thought I read this too, that like if you take fentanyl, it takes the senses of like heat and stuff like that. You may not feel it. It could be like negative below whatever. And because of the fentanyl, it makes you a little bit, I don't know, off, and you're not the best judge of a character, whether you're cold or hot and everything. But let me know what you think. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me hit play on this.
The charge is here today.
Oh, and by the way, Kraken, thank you for being a member for 14 months. I appreciate you, and thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you, love. Let me hit play.
Are a message for not only those who are grieving the lives of their loved ones who were lost to, in this case, to fentanyl, to know that the members of the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department do not give up on these investigations. While this happened a year ago, our detectives continue to work on this case to get it to the point that we're at today, where charges are filed. In addition to that, this is a message to those that are bringing fentanyl into our communities, providing it to people, harming our community, that you will be held accountable, you will be arrested, and you will be charged.
I felt like they answered more questions than this. Hold up. Ooh. Sorry, y'all. So let me go back. We might have to see, because there was a full press conference. I don't want to play this whole thing. Let's see. Let's remove this real quick and let's go back a little bit. That's interesting. Oh, it's making me play it. Well, let's see if we can get out of this real quick. Here we go. There was a question, and I remember watching it earlier. There was a question where they asked why it took them so long to figure this out. And they were like, well, it takes us a minute to investigate things and yada, yada, yada. Let me see. Jordan Willis. See if we can find it. Willis press conference on it 3 hours ago. Is this it? This might be it. Hold up, y'all. There's just a lot of questions about this. This might be it right here. Kansas City charge have been filed against 2 men in connection to the death. So Jordan Willis, who is the friend with the house, and Ivory Carson. By the way, they got their mugshots out too. This must be the same link that I had earlier. There's more questions to this that they didn't even answer. But hey, okay. Let me look at the chat real quick. Hold up. Are they cutting up the stuff with fent because it's cheap? I'm not really sure. The exposure of this drug allows you to kill you, or allows to kill you. The exposure is dangerous. Was it laced? Muster Mama, thank you for the $4.99. Was it laced unknowingly with fentanyl or intentional? Do you mean like, did they mean to take fentanyl, or did they know? Like, was it mixed in type of situation? I have a lot of questions about that too, because when they initially said it, it was cocaine. Hold up. So this is the AP. The AP says, so their bodies were found 2 days later, and witnesses said that friends were using cocaine when they got together first at Harrington's home, and then Willis on January 7th to watch the Chiefs play the Los Angeles Chargers. The witnesses said Willis had a history of offering cocaine to his friends, but when they were low on money, and that he bought it from Carson, according to probable cause. So the witnesses said Willis had a history of offering cocaine to his friends when they were low on money, and that he bought it from Carson, according to the probable cause. Is it possible that the coke had fentanyl and the coke came from Carson? So then Jordan Willis' attorney responds and says, John Pisaro, the guy with the too much cologne, said that there's no evidence that Willis bought the drugs that his friends ingested before their death, noting that they had been partying all day. And he said that Willis didn't know that they were still in his backyard, or that they needed medical attention until police showed up like 2 days later. It's been a very long year for Jordan. He's lost his job. He's lost his home. He's lost his friends. The public are pointing at him as someone who essentially killed them. And nothing could be further from the truth. Willis told police that he believed that McGreeny, Harrington, and Johnson possibly got a hold of some fentanyl at some point on Sunday, on Sunday's game was played, when it was played, and he thought they left his home around 4 a.m. the next morning. So the weather records indicate that the low temperatures that night were around 33 degrees, 1 degree Celsius. So investigators interviewed Carson, who admitted to selling the cocaine to Willis, Harrington, and McGreeny before January 1st, 2024. This is what the probable cause statement says. No attorney is listed for Carson in the online court docs. So is it let me put this question out here, okay? Is it possible that they got the cocaine? They got the cocaine and it might have been mixed in with fentanyl. They didn't know and they took it. Jordan goes to bed thinking that they're going to go out. They know their way out of this house, right? He lets them out or tells them whatever, just I'm going to bed, y'all. You guys know where the exit door is at, right? And they leave, but somehow don't make it to their car because all three of them have fentanyl. Is it possible that they sat there? I mean, when you're partying, you don't you're not sitting there testing the drug, right? Unless if you got weed at a dispensary, you're under the assumption that the weed is like, all right, it's how much you're consuming, whether it's this or that, the other, an edible, whatever it may be, you know what you're going to consume, right? But if it's cocaine and you're buying it from a dealer and the dealer's mixing in fentanyl, is it possible that they took it and didn't even know? I don't know the three knew, but you're not telling me Jordan didn't know because folks in that town said he had experimented with drugs. So he was buying, when they were low on money, he was the one buying the coke. If they don't make drugs, they didn't know if it was a mistake. If they didn't make drug, chances are, if they didn't make drugs, chances are they didn't know it was mixed. And I'm wondering if the weather could affect could have an effect on the drug, right? They redacted the agent's name for security. So people cannot look at them up because of the FBI undercover. Gotcha, Stacy. Thank you so much. I think you're talking about Shanquella. Mustard Mama, thank you for the $4.99 again. I feel like you don't dabble in fentanyl. Not intentionally. I mean, unless I wouldn't think so. That's what I'm saying. I think it might have been mixed in and then they might have taken it. Nobody's testing. Like when you're going to do, at least my experience, whatever you're doing, you're not sitting there testing to make sure that your Coke, it doesn't have fentanyl. You know what I mean? Is it possible that they took it and they just didn't realize that there was fentanyl there? And think about it. I mean, the temperatures were not the best, clearly cold and whatever. So there's that. Thank you so much, Mr. Mama, for the $4.99. You don't typically dabble in fentanyl. I would agree with that. I've never heard anybody say, well, I'm going to go try fentanyl. No. I was surprised the police never mentioned another person being there before. Now that threw me off. Yeah, because it was another person. This whole case is just bizarre. Hey, good Nanya. I haven't seen you in a minute. I hope you're doing well. This case is bizarre. You said, I don't think it was intentional. They were all best friends. They were all best friends. They knew each other from like high school too. Is it possible that Jordan also took fentanyl and then that put him to sleep for like 2 days and he didn't know? Or he just, I don't know, because he was asleep and people were knocking at his property. They're this is moving. They're seeing the cars parked. They're like, their cars are there, so they have to be there. You said, I think that most likely that's what happened. Only people who want fent are people who like opioids, excuse me. Dealers get people on it from other drugs. of choice. It gets people bad. He wasn't charged with murder, charged with manslaughter. So I don't think it was intentional. That's a good point. Like the charges are manslaughter. So they're kind of weighing that in, right? That's a good point too. Hold up, let me see. And they didn't release, I thought they would have released the charging documents or the complaint for the public, but I didn't check their website either. So hold up, let me see if I can pull it. It was Platte County Prosecutor's Office. I want to say it was Missouri. Is this it? They might have it on like a media release. Agenda, minutes, department. Hold up, y'all. My profile, all of the, you think that they'd have like here it is, prosecutor on the news, 11-year-old prison term for DUI fatality. They don't have it yet. They don't have it up there. There's no update to it in their like media release. I thought they would have put those documents up there, but they don't have them yet. What do you guys think so far? Constance June, thank you for the $10. The DNA evidence was not matched to the supplier until December. Why is that? Why did it take it, like it took them so long? And that was the question that was being asked too. Hold up. See, I don't even have my Facebook going here, because I bet you I can probably show that press conference here on Facebook a lot quicker. Give me one sec, y'all. See how long this takes. No, don't notify me. Not now, yada, yada. Here it is. Let's see. Stop. Jordan Willis. See if we can pull it. I know I saw, shout out to Ikamel. He went live earlier on this too. Then that's the only person that I've seen really talk about this. There's a couple others, but I only know of Mel. I remember hearing on that press conference, and I think it's in Mel's. Let me see if I could play a little bit of it. Hold up, y'all. It's right over here. Hold up. Is it right here? Yep. See if we could play a little bit of it. Hold up.
You know the toxicology report, but is there an autopsy? Do we know if they died outside?
One sec, because they started asking them questions. Here it is. So she goes in here speaking. There it is.
Will be arrested and you will be charged. Secondly, what was your second question?
Just the dangers of this drug on our streets. I mean, it takes a very small amount to take a life. And now you see 3 people that died over a year ago. We're given this somehow.
Right.
No telling how much more of that batches out on our streets. But your message to people across Kansas City about the real danger of this drug.
Right. There is absolutely a danger with regard to fentanyl as well as other street drugs. Obviously, with fentanyl, it just takes a very small amount that could take someone's life. The Kansas City, Missouri Police Department not only works in that space here that culminates in the successful prosecution of this case or to getting charges today, but we're also proactive in making sure that we're out in our community providing messages of prevention. We're also intervening narcotics with our interdiction squad, but we also have a squad that goes out on overdose deaths. That way, we are notified right there. We respond to the scene. We begin our investigation right then. And that is with living or victims that succumb to the narcotics ingestion.
Okay, 1 second. And Constance, thank you so much for the 10. I did see, by the way, love, I did see the timeline. We were talking about that earlier. Thank you so much again for the 5, the local news. I saw the timeline, and they got the timeline from the actual criminal complaint. So we have that here that basically says July 23rd, 2024, the lab test confirms 1 bag contained cocaine and another contained fentanyl. So actually, excuse me, July 10th, DNA evidence match Willis, identifying him as a major contributor. So that's where the charges are coming through. Okay. And then it goes into July 26, 2024. Forensic data extraction from Harrington's phone revealed messages confirming Carson as a primary coke supplier. So Carson is the dealer. September 16, 2024, a witness stated that McGreeny, Harrington, and Johnson remained at Willis' residence after the football game. And then December 12, 2024, DNA evidence from the second bag matched Carson, confirming his role as the drug supplier. But here's my question. They got the DNA December 12th of 2024. We're now March 5th. Why didn't they make an arrest then? Why did they wait until today? If they have it, they have a DNA, they had the DNA of the dealer, and then they had the DNA on July 10th of Willis. That's the question. So Jordan knew he was a contributor, then they had the supplier, right? If they had they've been having this DNA, why did they sit on it for so long? Constance, why do you think they sat on this for so long? That's my question, y'all. Why did they sit on this for so long? I don't know.
One more question. Do you guys have any idea what was taking place at this house for 3 days while these three men laid in the backyard?
Yeah, exactly. What was going on those 3 days?
What took place in those days as they were literally freezing?
Again, we can't speak beyond what's in the probable cause statement at this time. But this is a terrible, terrible tragedy. 3 men are dead because of the dangers of street drugs, of fentanyl, of cocaine. And I just urge anybody who is thinking about buying drugs on the street to think twice before they do it.
Throughout the investigation, were you able to reveal any more of the relationship between the decedents and those that were charged, in terms of their relationship and how they maybe were acquainted, friends, whatever?
Again, I can't get deeply into the relationship between these folks, but the probable cause statement does talk about how the 3 men who tragically died in this case were at Mr. Willis's home and at another location with Mr. Willis and others the night before this. We allege that the other defendant, Mr. Carson, provided fentanyl to these men.
We know the toxicology report, but is there an autopsy do we know if they died outside or they died inside the house and then were taken out, or what is that?
Yeah, again, I can't get into those facts at this
That's
point.
what I'm wondering too. There's still more to this.
Conviction in this case?
I wouldn't bring charges that I didn't believe are justified by the evidence. But again, I should caution everybody. In America, there's a presumption of innocence until guilt is proven. We're going to do everything we can in this case to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, and we'll determine what a judge or 12 members of a jury ultimately think about this case.
In terms of the text messages that were in the probable cause statement that state that they were inquiring about buying drugs, did it reveal that there were any other instances that these individuals had purchased drugs outside this?
Again, I just can't speak to that at this moment. Thank you.
Well, been a year or so. Island 3.
Am I muted? I'm muted, y'all. Rookie mistake. Sorry about that. Morris, I was saying thank you so much. Oh, where am I at? Hold up. Where did I go? Here it is. Sorry, guys. Why is it being all weird? Here it is. That's what I meant. I'm muted. I'm everywhere. I'm getting myself. I'm on the clouds. Rabbit is off the cloud. Let's pretend she's singing. I'm unmuted now. Morris, thank you so much for the $10. I appreciate it. What I was saying is that this case definitely needs more attention and justice. I mean, my hope is that it'll get revisited with Shanquella Robinson for sure. But I mean, Am I back? Can you guys see me? Let me know. Thank you so much for the 10, Morris. I appreciate it. Rabbits in the cloud. Am I back? Can y'all hear me? I'm not muted. I'm here. Ta-da! I'm here. Let me know if you see me. The deep state did not mute me. Elaine. Okay. Cause y'all like, I know that there's a delay. I'm back. When it comes to Shanquella Robinson, I hope that there's, I don't know, like a miracle or something, because I really am I'm hoping for justice when it comes to Shanquella. So thank you, Morris. I appreciate it. But see how long going to this case with the fentanyl situation and them freezing outside. I do wonder why it took them so long. I just have a question about that, especially if they knew the DNA and where we're at with that. Will we ever find an answer to this? I'm not really sure. Hey Ellie, how are you? I'm not really sure, you guys. What do you guys think? Jordan, I thought, especially because he moved out of that house like very quickly. He moved quickly from that house and he was like, I'm out of here. He did people went after him pretty hard, but was this a situation where they all took drugs, he went to bed, and then his friends were outside and unfortunately froze to death, and they had fentanyl, so they couldn't really, come out of that, and it was just too late, and that happened. It's just a horrible thing. You said, yeah, Jordan, didn't he go straight to he went somewhere, and then he hired the attorney that looks like he wears too much cologne, They were looking for the main supplier, Rabbit. That's how they do, especially with that cause, because it's even taken their own people out. Wow. I just wasn't sure what was going to happen. I think we were all waiting, but it's like a whole year. I'm glad they took the case serious, though. I'll say that. And they were investigating. They didn't let this go. So hopefully there'll be some justice for those families, But I do have a question. I do wonder if Jordan knew that there was fentanyl in that cocaine. I think you just never know what people lace things with anymore. You don't. So is it possible he didn't know? He also took it. So I wonder about that too. But anyways, guys, hey, I appreciate everybody. There were 2 separate baggies, red rabbit, 1 of each. There's that too. I appreciate you guys being here tonight. Thank you so much. You guys can be here. You be somewhere else and you're here, and I appreciate it. Do me a favor, guys. I did a video earlier. Look, Rabbit, they said 2 different baggies, and the 2 bags were separated. They knew he bought fentanyl. There you go. What's wrong with your texting? You're not the only one, Kim. People have complained about, like, it's hard to text in there. Based on how he answered the door, he didn't know. I don't know. But Chico, this is a good point. Like Rabbit, they said 2 different bags. So yeah, because they tested DNA for both. So keep that in mind. Guys, I'm going to go to bed. I'm tired. I am tired. We did 3 lives today. But let me say this. Check out my last live that I did earlier today on Jay-Z. Jay-Z basically exposed the Jane Doe. Let me know what you guys think, because that was pretty explosive in my opinion. I'm still trying to get my head around that whole situation, honestly. But let me shout out some folks here. Hey, I want to thank everybody for supporting my channel. Cheeks, the Duck, Tinkle, F this administration, Resist, Rico, thank you for renewing your membership. Destiny, thank you. Kraken, thank you. Muster Mama again, thank you. Constance, June, thank you. And Morris, thank you. Yo, y'all are amazing. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Guys, have a great night. I will see you guys tomorrow. I got to get some rest. I'm on coffee number 3. And I told you guys, coffee doesn't do anything to me. So I'm tired. I need to go to bed. I'll see you guys. Have a good night. Hit the like button. Bye-bye. Bye, guys.